Welcome to another episode of our Tech Talks. Today I have my lovely guest here, Tracy Halusawaski, one of our assessment consultants, to share in a special feature in our text to speech, our read write text to speech. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Nicole. How are you?
I'm fantastic. This is really great. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. We're just starting to do new guests and invite people in. And so you'll note that over the next little bit, our Tech Talks will have a bunch of different visitors and guests sharing some of their background knowledge with us. So today we're going to do the read write. Tracy, why might we want to use read write text to speech?
Well, text to speech is a great universal design tool for all students that really invites students to kind of get to the heart of curriculum. They can explore a concept without some of the heavier burdens of reading, gives them a little bit of allows it to be accessible. And yet for our students who, maybe are struggling in the areas of reading and writing, those students can explore a concept or curriculum that doesn't include reading and writing as part of that outcome, that learning outcome, and still really get to the heart of the learning in that a particular content area. So it's a great thing for all students and allows curriculum to kind of come alive and be possible.
So let's take a look at how this works then. So I'm just going to share our space over here, and we are going to take a look at a Google Doc. So we're going to start here in Google Docs. So first off, at any point in time, if you're wanting to access Read Write, it is up in our right-hand corner. So you can see over on this screen here, there's a little jigsaw puzzle. So if you don't see it out here like I see it, the Read Write little purple jigsaw piece, if you click inside of this extension button, you will find Read Write for Google Chrome. You'll notice that I've actually pinned it, and so that is why it is showing up on my screen. Now note, the first time you use it, you might have to enable it, so just follow the prompts that are there. So here I am in a Google Doc, and I want to have the students have the text read to them. So how do I do that? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up on my Read Write, and I'm going to click it down. It's going to show up here. And it should automatically, once I use it once in a Google Doc, it should show up here and I should be able to just like put it away. And you'll note that there's a little tab here. So all I need to do is click onto it. So once I click onto this, I'm just going to go to the document and I'm going to put my cursor where I want it to begin. So there's two ways to do it. There is placing our cursor where we want, and then coming up to this little toolbar, and you can see when you hover over the little triangle, it's a kind of a universal play button. I'm going to select it.
Earth is the third planet from the Sun and the only object in the universe known to harbor life.
So you could see that it started to play the text. Another way that I can also do it is I can highlight what I want it to say. So if I want it to, maybe it's just this one word, I don't know what this one word is. And so I can actually highlight it and then select play.
Evidence, comma, Earth formed over 4.
So you notice that it actually continued to go. So because it continued to go, that means that there's a setting that I have that's set that means continuous reading. So I'm going to show you how you can change that as well. So up in this little toolbar to the far right is the three dots, little Timbits. I'm going to select those, and there is an options setting button. So when I select this option settings, a menu will come up for myself. So a few things that I can change when I'm looking at the speech is I can change the voice. So there are a variety of different languages that I can put it in, and then there's also different gendered listens as well. From their audios, I guess would be the right word. I can also change the speed. So if I need to slow down the text, I can slow it down here. I can also speed it up if it's something that's too slow. I know a lot of people actually that do that to like videos. They speed them up, right, Tracy? They speed them up. She might be one of them to do a quick skim, right? And so you can see there's this one little button here called reading, and it's called continuous reading. If I select this, so it's automatically defaulted to on, but if I turn this off and I come back to here and I now highlight evidence and I push play,
Evidence.
it's going to stop there. So you can see the toolbar turned off. And so that is a feature that is really helpful for students as well, as if they're just wanting words, not the whole set of text read back to them. then I can just turn that little button off and it'll just say the word instead of breaking up all of the text and all of the grammatical pieces. There's also the ability to use the translations in here too in our speech. So just note that that is also accessible in here. Now, if I'm a student that is always using this feature, and maybe I get really distracted by this bar with all of the different things, note that if I go down to features, I can actually turn things off. So as I turn off items, they will disappear from my bar at the top. And so note that this might be something that we might want to use with our students too, just to limit the distractions that are there for them. And so you can see play is here as well. So if it's something that I use frequently, instead of having it in the middle of the toolbar, I might also want to have it at the front of the toolbar. So I'm just going to pull, click, and drag, and I can pull the pause feature and the stop feature up with it so that it's up at the top as I'm going and moving. Maybe. Where did it go? And so here we go. So now you can see on my toolbar over here, I'm going to hit OK. They are now my first 3 items. So if it's something that I'm using quite frequently, then I tend to have it put at the beginning of the toolbar. It's just like the bottom of our taskbar on our computers gets really cluttered and really distracting if everything's split all the way around. So that is a really quick little feature change or an adaptation that we can also make. Tracy, did you know that you can actually use read write also use the play feature in Wikipedia?
I actually didn't know that.
So Wikipedia is one of those tools that we always use for searching. Well, maybe not us, but our students always use it for searching. It's the first place they always go. So we've showed you before how to simplify the text. So if the text is a little bit too overwhelming for students, we know that we can come down to our languages on this far left-hand side, select Simple English. It will then simplify the text for us. But then I can also click on my Read Write extension, and I can, again, come here. And now the only difference is in a Google Doc, I can place my cursor. In a Wikipedia, I actually have to highlight the text that I want to have read to me. So if I only want this sentence, now remember, I've already changed that setting so that it's not continuous reading, so it will only read what I've highlighted.
A season is a part of the year.
And the bonus to a website is that you'll notice it actually highlighted it as it read the words. And so not only did it do a highlight of yellow, but then it also did another highlight color over for each word as it read it. So another really great feature for students to help them learn the words and know which ones are being said. And something else that I kind of noticed also is a lot of our schools have Discovery Education licenses. And so if you go into the Discovery Education textbook and you want to have some of this read to it, it has its own speech to text feature built in here, but I can also access my read write bar and I can also play it
How
from here.
long does it take for the Earth to rotate? A glossary term opens in a new window. Around its own axis, glossary term opens in a new window. And
So the bonus is it tells you that it opens in a new window and that it is linked to something else. So that might be a little bit distracting for students, but it might be something really great for just like picking up on individual words. So Tracy, what do you think of this tool?
I think it's amazing. And, one of the most beneficial ways that I've seen this used with students is part of an editing process for word processing. So if you think about, when you're editing your own writing, we often jump over mistakes because we're familiar with them, or even those words that are just slightly spelt wrong that our eye kind of jumps over. When we read it back in text to speech as part of an editing process, we actually hear a lot of those errors and can fix them. So it's a great tool that's not, too taxing on kids when they're exhausted at the end, but it's a great way to kind of catch those errors on the fly.
And that's actually a really great way to use it. Having students even proof their own reading, right? So that it reads it back. Because how many times do we have a word missing or another word? And even when we continue to read it, we always do a self-correct in our brain. So that's not going to happen.
I have to admit, this may have saved my life in my master's.
So this is a really great tool for obviously us as well as for our students. And so please take a look, use it with your kids. And that is all for today. So thank you, Tracy, for joining us. And I look forward to talking to you again soon and inviting you as a guest.
My pleasure. Take care, everybody.
Bye.